Look at this feed. For nearly 2 years, thousands of people interacted with this account every single day. She posted from beaches, from coffee shops, and airport lounges, projecting a flawless, active lifestyle that kept her audience coming back for more. Everything about her online presence felt perfectly normal, until someone actually tried to find her in the physical world and discovered that she didn't exist at all. In the past, creating a fake persona meant catfishing. You had to steal photos from a real person's account, and because those original images already existed somewhere else, they always left a digital footprint you could track. But this profile bypassed our usual skepticism. Our brains are naturally wired for pattern recognition. When we see a high volume of consistent, professional photos, hundreds of posts, and thousands of followers, we automatically assume the person behind it is real. We stop looking for reasons they might not be. This successful deception reveals a critical vulnerability. When the volume and consistency of content are high enough, our natural impulse to trust overrides our skepticism, turning a digital profile into a highly effective psychological trap. The investigation started by looking for the relational void. Despite having thousands of followers and an incredibly active lifestyle, this account had 0 tags from real-life friends and absolutely no verified appearances at physical events. This chart plots the account's posting schedule over time. Notice the rigid, robotic pattern. Instead of the scattered uploads you'd expect from a human, this account hits the exact same microsecond interval every single day. The next logical step was a reverse image search to find where the photos originated, but investigators found 0 historical overlap. There were no original versions of these images anywhere, which shouldn't be possible if the pictures were simply taken from someone else. Then they noticed the environmental loops. Look closely at this side-by-side comparison of 3 supposedly different travel photos. She is in 3 different cities, yet you can spot the exact same background coffee cup and identical window reflection in every single shot. These patterns reveal a shift in online fraud. Instead of stealing a real person's history, a generative engine builds an entire isolated reality from scratch. To see how it's done, we have to look at the micro errors. This close-up highlights the physically impossible geometry that computers create, but humans usually miss. The frames of her glasses are completely asymmetrical, and her earrings don't match. Move out to the edges, and you'll find structural blending errors. Individual hair strands inexplicably melt into warped elements of the background wall. This flowchart illustrates generative adversarial networks, or GANs. The system analyzes millions of human traits, synthesizing abstract shapes into one hyper-realistic composite. Once requiring massive computing power, this process now simplifies into basic sliding scales, usable from a phone. Because the barrier to creating a believable human has effectively dropped to 0, looking for these tiny structural glitches is currently our only real defense against completely synthetic identities. Eventually, without any explanation or confession, the profile vanished. The account was deleted, leaving the true creator entirely unknown. The mystery of who ran this specific account is secondary. The real challenge is the mathematical probability of how many other indistinguishable synthetic shadows are currently active on our feeds right now. This diagram gives us a 4-point verification toolkit for identifying them. First, check for offline footprints like real-world tags. Second, analyze the posting intervals for robotic precision. Third, scan the frame edges for structural distortion. And fourth, verify the physical symmetry of facial accessories. For decades, the internet operated on a simple bedrock: authenticity assumed. If you saw a photograph and a name, you assumed there was a living person behind the screen. That assumption is effectively dead. The assumption that a profile represents a person is no longer a safe default. Users are now finding that they must verify the biological existence of an account holder before they can trust the content being shared. But while fake identities are becoming easier to create, another mystery is becoming harder to explain. In our next case study, a real person physically vanished without a trace, yet their online account never stopped posting.
Some stories should never be uncovered.